Are you torn between choosing between a 135mm and 85mm lens? Join me today for a behind the scenes shoot where I'll exclusively use these two lenses to explore 7 key comparisons. This video is not brand specific but focuses on comparing the two lenses in a real world situation. At the end of the video I will tell you which lens I prefer and why. So I've asked a friend of mine if she would be so kind to model for us. This is Marie. Marie, that's everyone. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is focal length. The first shot I'm going to do with Marie is to go only from the waist up. So Marie, you can just look at me. That's beautiful. I'm at aperture priority, f1.4, 1600 shutter speed. I've got my shots and I'm going over to the 135. Because the 135 is quite a bit longer than the 85, I'm going to have to take maybe 2 or 3 steps back to get the same kind of shot. And I'm currently at f2, 2500 shutter speed and 500 ISO. For me to get a full length shot of Marie with a 135, I'm going to have to move back quite a bit. And you can see I'm a long way away from her. Shooting her here to get a nice composition, still at f2. I'm gonna up it a bit with my aperture priority. That's beautiful. And I'm gonna show you now how wide the 85 is compared to the 135. So focusing on Marie's face, beautiful shot. If I want to have the same shot with the 85, I'm gonna have to move quite a bit closer. And this is very much the same shot. The next point we're going to discuss is depth of field. With depth of field, one thing you need to take in account is that aperture is not the only thing that causes a blurry background. The distance from you to your subject and the subject to the background is what also matters. And you can see Marie is quite close to the background now. So it doesn't matter if I shoot at f1.4 with the 85 or f2 with the 135. If she's close to the background is still going to be pretty much in focus. Whereas if I put her on this side of the street, she's far away from the background and it will be more blurry, and we'll show you in a second. So we're going to start with the 85mm at f1.4 aperture priority. And that's great. Marie, if you can open up your eyes, that will be great. Oh, that's beautiful. So immediately there's a problem. f1.4 ISO 100 and I'm maxed out at 8000 shutter speed. So I'll have to go to f2 with the 85mm because I can simply not shoot at f1.4 because it's overexposed. So I'm going to f2 and that looks way better. Marie, if you can give me that same look towards that other side, that would be great. Love the hair that's blowing. This time 135mm f2, same as the 85, and this is the shot. Beautiful, Marie. That's great stuff. And look straight at me. Turn your face slightly that way, but still look at me. Quite like that, chin up a bit. That's great. So with the depth of field to show you, I've moved Marie now to this side of the road, and we're gonna take the first shot with the 135mm. And that's a great shot. I'm still at f2. That's beautiful, and you can see how out of focus the background now is. I'm gonna change it up to the 85 now. And that is stunning. Swing around and like that. Yeah, that's stunning. Love that. And give me a big smile. Love that. Stunning. Big smile at that tree for me. Love it. Going over to 85, and immediately you guys see that I need to move backwards even more because of the focal length. Oh, that's stunning, Marie. Just look at the tree again. Love it. And swing around a bit again. Yeah, I love that. Big smiles. Oh, that's stunning. Change the scenery. We're going to talk about bokeh, whatever you want to call it. That's sort of the effect that you get due to a wide open aperture. Let's see what is the difference between the two lenses. This is the 85. I'm going to go quite a bit closer. I'm at f1.4, 100 ISO at 1600 shutter speed. That's stunning, Marie. I'm going to do an upper body shot just to show you how nice the bokeh on this lens is. Marie, bring your weight in the middle. Turn like dead square to me. I quite like that. That's beautiful. Love that. And a full body one. Gonna get a bit space and go slightly lower. Love that. Let's go on the 135. I'm at 100 ISO, 500 shutter speed. I'm gonna move it up a bit. 200 ISO at 1000 with f2 on the 135. Stunning. Look at me again. Oh, this background is beautiful. You can see with the reflections at the back there of the sun falling on the leaves and the way the photo came out, it's absolutely beautiful. I want to get the same frame with the 85, so I'm going to get a bit closer. I have to get quite a bit closer. There we go. You're going to love this. Turn your face straight towards me with a big smile. I like that. So lens flare is the next thing I want to show you. Let's compare the two. You get lens flare and ghosting, and there's a difference between the two. Lens flare is how the sun falls on the lens, whilst ghosting is how it falls actually on the body of the lens or even on your lens hood. With this photo, you can actually see how the sun is falling on my lens hood, and you can see that the ghosting is a problem at the bottom of this lens. Let's have a look at the 135 and what will happen with that. So in this case, I've got 0 ghosting, and as soon as I go a bit further away, you can see a very little amount of ghosting at the bottom of the lens. So with the 135mm lens, you can see at the bottom there's a bit of ghosting. It's not much, but it's there. This is the 85, a bit less ghosting, but as soon as the sun hits it at a certain angle, you can see that it like really starts to get ghosting here. Still early in the day, so the sun is quite high, so it's hard to get flare, but I want to show you the difference between the two lenses and lens flare. And I'm shooting up at Marie, and the reason for that is just to shoot into the sun a bit more to get more flare on the two different lenses. 85 first. So that's stunning, Marie, and we can see a slight amount of flare. I'm gonna go just using the LCD there. We can see the flare in the corner. You can see I've got quite a bit less flare at this point in time. Shooting through the glass, quite like that. A bit hazy, but beautiful. There's just something about the 135 outdoors that I love. Look at this compression. And speaking of compression, that's the next thing that we're going to talk about. Oh, that's stunning, Marie. And we're going to do one more with the 85. And you can see it's quite a bit wider, guys. So I want to show you compression between the 85 and 135. So I'm going to start with the 85 to show you guys. Oh, that is stunning. Like that a lot. Now I want you to be aware of what's happening in the background, but to get Marie full on, I need to move up quite a bit, again because of focal length, and try to get Marie full on, and I'm gonna go a bit lower, shoot her again. And what's happening is the background is so much closer due to compression. So if you want to bring the background quite a bit closer, then the 135 would work in this situation. If you don't like and you want to get more of the town, and the 85 will be better. If you want the versatility, however, you will have to look for something like a 7200. Back to focal length, as I promised, we're indoors now, moved to a new location. And the reason I want to speak about focal length is because if you shoot indoors a lot, maybe a 135 versus an 85 is really something to consider because of working space. I'm going to shoot it first with the 85. I am currently on 1250 shutter speed, f1.4 ISO 640, and you can see the shot that I have at the moment. And then I'm going over to do the 135 at f2, 2000 ISO, 1600. I think we can drop the ISO to 1000 and 800 shutter speed, and you can see that I'm quite a bit tighter on her now. Now, here's the problem. If I want to move back to get a full length photo of Marie, I literally can't do it. I only have a half body here. Let's see how much of her can I get with the 85. So also not a full body shot, but quite a bit better. If I stand over here, I can get Marie nice and full body length. Yeah, that's lovely. So I'm gonna go to 135 now. But now I need to move back. And as you can see, I can actually not fit it in. I'm out of space. If I want to fit it in, I have to move here, but then this table over here comes into place. I quickly want to touch on sharpness, and I'm going to do close-ups to do that. The other thing I think we can look at is how close can I get before it's too close for the lens to actually focus. So this is the closest I can actually get to the model with the 135, which is definitely close enough. But if I go closer, the lens does not focus anymore. Let's have a look with the 85. So 85. Yeah, I would say it's about the same distance. So I've asked Marie to move back to the original angle, and I want to do quite a tight portrait of her, specifically to see if there's a sharpness difference. So I'm currently at 1250 shutter speed, ISO 640 at f1.4, and perhaps for the sharpness test, I'll go to f2 with an 85. And I will now also shoot at f2 with the 135. I will have to move back a bit to get the same kind of shot. There we go. The last thing I want to show you is sharpness, but not just normal sharpness on how sharp the actual photo is, but the focus tracking and the sharpness thereof, and does it actually keep focus? And look at the camera. That's great, Marie. Stunning, love that. So I was at 2,500 shutter speed, ISO 640 at f2 with the 135mm. This next one we're gonna do with the 85mm. That's beautiful. Big smiles. Stunning. Love that. What I could see from my viewfinder is that it looked really good. Both lenses tracked it beautifully. Elbow tucked in a bit more, that's it. Stunning, love the hair blowing in your face, that's quite nice. That's it. Love that. Loved it. Stunning. I just want to say thank you, Marie. You were awesome, and always a treat to work with you. So which lens is the best? Let's look at the 135 for a second. 135, if you shoot mostly outside, it's a good lens to think of. The downside of the 135, in my opinion, is the distance between you and your client. They might battle to hear you for instructions. If you're shooting indoors, however, all the time, the 85 is lovely. You can fit into small corners. If you're a wedding photographer and you want to photograph bridal portraits, the 85 in a bridal room is most of the time the best to have, because the 135 is just too long. I highly recommend you get the 85 because of the speed, the workspace, the bokeh. It's just an absolute stunner of a lens. But if you want to know why pro photographers' photos are better than yours, make sure to click on this video.